Perez, good morning. How are you, my man?
Good morning. I'm really well. I'm wrapping things up because I'm heading out of town in a little bit. So excited to chat with you and celebrate the 4th starting this afternoon.
Where are you going for your vacation, or what are you doing?
I'm driving down with my son and my mom, and we're going to Washington, D.C.
And you just going for a vacation, family, or what are you doing out there?
Good question. Well, the real answer is I really just wanted an excuse to go to D.C. because there's a musical playing down there at the Kennedy Center that I love. It's one of my favorite musicals of all time, and they've kind of redone it, added new songs to it, and it's playing down there, and I really want to go see it. It's called Sideshow, so I'm very excited for that.
All right, that makes sense. Now, let me ask you something, because I want to talk to you about this album in just a second. But you bring up your son, and I'm reading about you. You have a son which was through a surrogate mother carried this child for you, because we all know Perez Hilton is gay. I don't think that's any secret, obviously, unless you're completely living under a rock.
I mean, who knows what'll happen in the future?
Hey, what are you saying? We may sway you over to the other side, Perez? Do you think there's...
I'm only kidding. No. I don't think... I mean, who knows, but I don't think that'll happen.
How old is this son of yours?
He's 16 months.
Okay. And do you have a partner? Are you together with someone? Or are you doing this as a single father, I guess?
I don't have a partner, and I think, subconsciously I wanted to start and to begin the process on my own, because then if a man does come into my life, he knows, okay, these are my children, and I don't have to worry about us if we split, then, me giving custody or anything like that, because ultimately, I took this very seriously. It took a lot of work for me to have a child, and I want what's best for the child, for my son. And I don't think that going back and forth between homes and is stable or the best situation for a child. So that's why I think subconsciously I did it. And also, I just didn't meet anybody that was amazing.
Is this so you donated your sperm, and then where is the egg from? Is that from the surrogate mother, or whose egg?
No, she was literally just the carrier, and then there was a separate anonymous egg donor.
All right.
But people do it different ways. That was just the route I did, and I wanted that just because it seemed like the cleanest, the legalist, the most protected way to make sure that nobody then would ever try and make any kinds of claims that they have maternal rights or anything like that.
So you went, my co-host, Doogie, she is in her 40s, and when she was 39, she got an anonymous sperm donor. She's single.
That's awesome.
She artificial insemination. She now has a 4-year-old now. So she kind of did the same thing that you did. So I'm assuming, what you're telling me is you didn't know the egg donor.
Well, I don't know. I'm curious to hear from your co-host, but I mean, people do it. The thing that I liked about my process was it was anonymous, but I was able to look at video of the anonymous egg donor, and then we did do an anonymous Skype where I had my sister ask her questions that I typed to my sister via IM, and then my sister would ask her questions, because nobody recognizes my sister's voice or anything like that. So
right.
I was also able to get in addition to reading on her medical history and her family history and all that, I really was able to get a sense of, this person and why she was really doing this and what she was like, and I felt really comfortable about my decision.
Doogie, you did not want to do that. You saw photos of the person, right? But you didn't want to.
No.
Oh, you didn't even see photos?
I used one sperm bank, and they had pictures provided. And the one guy, when you look at their medical, you thought, okay, this person fits, and then you see the picture of him. And in my mind, I thought that will always be a picture of what the father would look like, and I didn't want that. I didn't.
But
how do you
know how do you know if you're getting sperm that it's not going to be some cretin? If you didn't even look at the photo, douche?
No, I have no photo.
That's insane.
I have no. They
She's
did.
crazy.
I went to another sperm bank, and they gave, here are the 3 celebrities that your sperm donor looks like, and it was like Ben Affleck and Johnny Depp and somebody else. So in my mind,
you picked the one that looked like Perez Hilton.
Yeah, and Perez Hilton. So my child looks like you, sweetie.
Now,
That's awesome.
Did people did you get look? I
think that's really amazing. You did that, by the way. I can't applaud that enough. That's one of the great things I tell about people in anything, not about having children, but if you really want to do something, do it. Stop delaying your happiness for others or for external reasons. Like, just do what it is that makes you happy.
Has having a child changed your outlook on life at all, Perez? Because you, as a celebrity blogger and gossip guy, you have been known to make comments that are mean and cruel. And I know a couple of years ago you said you were going to change your ways. You may have to some extent. But has it changed your outlook now that you have a child? Do you see the world differently now?
Do I see the world differently? No, I see myself differently. It's amazing and wonderful to just have somebody to come home to that is smiling, and that's kind of what I do every day. I just try to make my son smile as much as possible, and he's also helped me to just be a lot more. Like, when you're at the park, you're not like checking your phone and working on email and all that stuff. You're just at the park with your son, So it's also helped me to be more relaxed and more present. So having a child isn't about the world; it's about you, and that's how I've interpreted it.
Did you get any criticism as being a single gay man having a child? I personally don't have a problem with it. I believe people are born gay. You're not going to become gay because your dad or anyone else is gay. That's my belief. A lot of people don't believe that. Did you get a lot of criticism from right-wing groups and that sort of stuff?
Surprisingly, not that much. I think, children is one thing and subject that really can bring people together. And everybody can relate to the desire to want to have a family, and especially, somebody like myself who went through so much hard work to do it. First of all, doing it on your own is hard. Secondly, getting pregnant is hard. It's not easy. And not that I got pregnant myself, but the whole process is difficult. And I don't see children in any way as being a negative for anybody.
Remember they had that...
Unless you're like a drug addict or a teen mom or something like that. But I am not that.
You remember they had that guy that was... what was it? It was the pregnant man. Was it a woman that became
right.
a man?
Mm-hmm.
If they would have told you, Perez, that, hey, listen, we have a new experimental procedure and we can implant this embryo in you and it can grow in your gut, would you have done that?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
I wish I could have done that. Yes, in a heartbeat.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. What is this?
You wouldn't have done that?
No, I don't want to carry around.
You wouldn't?
Oh, absolutely. No. This is the difference between...
I absolutely would. I'm not going to say then that I'm going to deliver, without the help of whatever, an epidural or whatever. I'm not one of those water bath people or natural births. Give me the medicine and then it'll happen.
No, man, no way. Absolutely no. If they would have said, what if they would have said, okay, but you have to, since you don't have a vagina, you have to deliver anally. Would you still? Would you still?
Well, I would have a C-section then.
What is this compilation album that you have? Perez Hilton Presents Pop-Up Number 4. What is this? This is on iTunes now, but explain this to me.
It's kind of my answer to now that's what they call music, but whereas now what they call music is, songs this is a great opportunity, my pop-up album, to discover new music that you might not have heard, because radio is awesome, but radio kind of only plays the 8 same songs over and over again.
Tell me about it.
It's not the easiest to discover new artists, and this one, with the previous ones, I've picked songs that have then gone on, and artists that have then gone on to become really successful a year later. Like I had Charlie XCX, Capital Cities, and more. And, I'm really happy and proud of this collection. I think it's really eclectic and awesome, and there's some really, really cool artists and songs on there.
How do you get the info? Speaking of, for instance, musicians, I just saw, I was in Miami, which was where you're born. I was in Miami this past week for the iHeartRadio pool party, which is thrown by the company that syndicates the show, Clear Channel. And so I was down there. I saw Ariana Grande at a party. You got into a little bit of a feud with her recently where you said she did cocaine at a party or something, I think. Correct me if I'm getting any of this wrong. And she, of course, vehemently denied this, and I don't know if she did sue you or threatened to sue you or whatever. Where do you get most of your information from? On let's just use that as an example, that Ariana Grande was doing cocaine somewhere. Who tells you that, and how do you vet that? How do you know? Because, I mean, these people's lives sort of can be, I don't want to over dramatize it. Someone's life can be ruined, but I mean, that's a serious accusation when you bring that. How do you vet this kind of stuff?
Well, I didn't say she did, and she never threatened to sue me. So, you know, that's an interesting way of how things can get distorted. But, you know, I find information through many different ways, and, you know, I won't just put up anything that I hear. I definitely need to believe that it's from somebody I know and trust, or that I've heard it from multiple sources. Like, sometimes, you know, paparazzi will tell me things, but I'm not always going to believe what the paparazzi tell me because they have ulterior motives. Although a lot of times they are accurate, and sometimes you'll hear things from other celebrities. And even then, you know, a celebrity might tell me something about another celebrity, and there's ulterior motives too. So it's not easy, but I do take what I do seriously.
Let's see here. I'm looking at. I don't have the post of the Ariana Grande, so I don't know. So you did not say that she did cocaine. So this is just in the research that I have here. So it could be wrong. My producer could have given this to me. What did you say? Did you allude to it or something? Or
well, I definitely said there were rumors, and I tweeted at her in a passive-aggressive way, "Are these rumors true?" I never said she did it. I said that there were rumors of that, and that's true. I had heard those rumors.
Okay, that's a little bit different than saying that she did it. All right,
Yeah.
That's a big difference, actually.
And you can Google that because that's exactly what happened. If there's one thing about me is I don't lie.
Is there anything that you have regretted that you have posted? Because you've made some mistakes on the website.
Oh, yeah. I regret many things. I mean, I regret the time I said Fidel Castro was dead. Although, maybe I was right. I don't know.
They have him propped up like Weekend at Bernie's or something. But is there anything that you, after the fact, felt bad? Like, you know what? Maybe I went after this person.
I regret so much. I wish I could go back and, you know, erase a bunch of things. I often, you know, read interviews or watch them where people get asked if they regret anything, and 9.9 times out of 10, people say they don't regret anything because everything has led them to where they are today. I am that 0.1% that does regret a lot of things because, you know, where I am today and what my experience has led me to is wisdom, but I would rather be a less wise person who didn't hurt other people in the past.
How much?
And that's not to say that, you know, I'm perfect, and that's not to say that I won't make more mistakes in the future, but at least I'm trying to make less mistakes.
How much? First of all, I'm looking. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm looking at photos of Perez Hilton as we run on RMG TV, B-roll stuff of photos of him, and he's had quite the change in appearance over the years. I'll tell you that. You have any plastic surgery or anything, or was this all just a natural appearance change?
That's the sad part that people don't like to hear. For me, I mean, everybody's different, but for me, it's literally like 75% healthy eating. I rarely cheat. Like, I eat almost all the time healthily. Maybe once a week I'll cheat. But that's okay because I don't feel sad or deprived. I've literally been able to reprogram my brain to enjoy eating healthily and also to stop associating celebrations like Mother's Day or things like that with, oh, I must go out to brunch or, oh, I must go out to dinner or something like that. You know, I'll cheat and I'll, you know, deviate from eating healthily if and when I want to. But thankfully, I don't feel the need or urge to do that, you know, regularly.
Are you?
And then, of course, I do work out too. But for me, if I you know, worked out every day like I do, and didn't eat as healthily as I did, I wouldn't have the results I do.
Are you lawsuit free right now, Perez? Because everyone is suing Perez Hilton. If you look back at the history, it's been tons of lawsuits from celebrities, from photo agencies. I've been sued numerous times, and it's always so great when I'm in a period when I'm not being sued. Are you lawsuit free right now, or how many do you have going on? If the answer is no.
I think I am. I'm not sure. That's probably more a question for my lawyer.
So you don't even follow that kind of stuff like day to day. You just do your business and you let other people handle it.
Yeah, well, because also, there's like different stages. Like sometimes people just threaten to sue, and then they're like talking, and like I don't even know. I just know that I do everything by the books, or try to, and that people can sue you for whatever reason they want, even if you're right.
How much money do you think you've made over the course of running your website, Perez?
Oh, gosh, I'm not sure. I have a business manager, thankfully, who takes care of paying my taxes and doing everything by the books. So I make enough to not have to worry about looking at my checking account every month.
Do you?
That's nice. Because I'm awful with that stuff, and people think that like that's an evasive or not true answer. It's totally true.
But don't you worry someone will? Don't you worry someone will rip you off? You must have heard stories of celebrities being ripped off by their managers and accountants.
I trust this guy completely. He's amazing. And he has the best reputation also.
Do you have any employees that work for PerezHilton.com, or do you do everything on your own?
Oh, no, I definitely have employees. I mean, I have 5 websites. I have my radio show. I do video stuff. I have TV stuff that I'm trying to produce. Like, at this point, I've got my own little, not empire, but wannabe empire.
He's like a mini Ryan Seacrest almost, and
I'm lucky. He's definitely a big inspiration.
And he's about as straight as Ryan Seacrest, or so the rumor goes. Perez, what do you think of that? Is he straight or?
Is the Clear Channel going to reprimand you for saying that?
Well, yeah, he is a big Clear Channel guy. No, but is he? What do you think? Is the rumor's always been that he's gay? Is he gay or straight?
No, I don't think so.
No.
There's just some really, hip dudes who like to have nice hair. There's nothing wrong with that. You
had your finger in Benji Brock's rectum from the Howard Stern show. Someone just tweeted me. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was awesome.
He's the only guy in the world that would go, yeah, it's awesome to have my finger up the... Why in the world did you do that? What was the story behind that?
Well, I did have a glove on my hand, so it wasn't like my naked finger. And I did it because I would have never volunteered to do this, but a listener called in and mentioned to me that there was this bet going on in the show and suggested that I do it. And then it was like my life was flashing before my eyes. I'm like, oh, my God, what do I do? How do I respond? Like, you can't go on Howard Stern and then, like, wuss out on things. And also, I was able to, like, momentarily, like, within milliseconds, weigh the pros and the cons. And I realized that if it were to happen, it would become one of the most iconic moments in Stern show history. And it was. He sent me a handwritten note himself, Howard, and thanking me. And it was, I've gone back and listened to it. It was really hilarious.
Did the guy get any sexual, did he get any sexual pleasure out of it? And the reason I ask,
no.
You don't think so?
I didn't even look down there at his area, and I was viewing him more as like a doctor.
Well, because I've heard stories from guys. I'm 38 years old, and I've had a few times, more than, I don't know how many times, but the doctor will, do the old finger up the poop chute when you go over, or bend you over the table there and do a prostate exam. Now, I've heard of guys getting sexually aroused from that. So I didn't know if this guy might have possibly gotten that, or if it was no sexual pleasure that he received at all.
Well, I don't know. A was not looking, and then B, he was covering himself with his hands, thankfully.
Perez sounds like he's willing to do just about anything, especially for a little bit of publicity.
I know. That was the weird part, too, because he claimed to have been doing it for his girlfriend, to get his girlfriend a full-time job on the show, and then his girlfriend called in, and she was super weird about it, too. Like, I'm sad he didn't like it more, like to the boyfriend. I'm like, oh my god, this is just so weird.
Maybe they were.
The fact it was way weird.
Maybe they were trying to get you into a little threesome action or whatever.
Oh no.
You know what I hear from gay guys before I let you go? I hear that they have told me that there are many straight guys that are 100% straight, and that they'll have like a one-night stand with a straight guy because the straight guy wants to experiment. Have you ever done that with someone?
No, that's not very appealing to me. I mean, it's in theory it's fun to fantasize, but I would never like actively try and hook up with a straight guy. Because I like easy. I don't want to have to work for something. Yeah, it's kind of like with guys always fantasize about virgins. Oh, you want to bang a virgin chick, and I don't know. I don't, because I go, it's probably going to be really bad if I bang a virgin. You know, she's not going to know what the hell she's doing. Perez Hilton, his compilation album is Perez Hilton Presents Pop-Up No. 4. It's on iTunes right now. Last question, what's your favorite song on there? Oh, gosh. Well, probably the first song. Some of you might be familiar with it because Drake sampled it on one of his songs, but it's just so exquisite. It's called Too Much by this British artist named Sampha, and it's just beautiful. All right. Check that out on iTunes right now. And, of course, his website, PerezHilton.com. Perez, I appreciate it. You. Have a good vacation, my man. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Perez Hilton.